Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, December 15th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Gina Barty. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, police arrest a man who they say carjacked an ambulance from the Branchville Fire Department, then caused a fatal collision in Greenbelt. Yesterday around 6 p.m., an EMS crew stopped to help Sebastian Isaacson, who was involved in a separate accident. The 34-year-old allegedly assaulted the responders, then jumped into the ambulance and drove away. A short time later, the suspect was traveling in the 6200 block of Greenbelt Road when he struck 3 occupied vehicles, then hit an additional 9 cars before flipping over into a restaurant parking lot. 77-year-old Alvin Hargrave was transported to a local hospital where he later died from his injuries, and a 36-year-old pregnant woman was also received medical treatment and remains in stable condition. Meantime, police need your help in identifying a suspect wanted in connection with 2 stabbings this morning. Take a close look at this picture. Police say this is the man who stabbed 2 people outside the Rockville Metro Station. An investigation reveals the incident started with a verbal altercation between 3 men off Metro property. The incident happened at the Right-On bus stop. Both victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information should call 202-962-2121.
And with 10 days left until Christmas, the U.S. Postal Service is gearing up for the final stretch. It kicks into high gear today because today is the Postal Service's busiest day of the year.
They're usually there in 2 to 3 days, so I'm good.
I sent a package to my daughter in Atlanta.
Have you done a lot of mailing this holiday season?
Done a little bit.
They came bearing gifts for the holidays.
This one is a bag, and then this is a handbag I'm returning, but I'm getting another handbag.
Their destination, the U.S. Post Office in Largo. And while you may be aware of the busiest travel day or shopping day of the year, did you know today was the busiest mailing day of the year for the Postal Service?
I wouldn't know. This is the first and probably all I'm going to have to do this year.
The Postal Service expects to process some 640 million pieces of mail today. That's 32 million more than last year. And as they like to boast, the postman has been delivering mail for 239 years. And despite all the cars, the long lines, and the people, Olivia Pulley says the service was great.
Helping you pack your boxes, it was great. This was a fantastic visit. I felt like I was home.
And if you don't get that package in the mail today, not to worry, says the post office. You have a few days left to guarantee Christmas delivery.
I just want to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes, and I hope everyone gets their gift.
Okay, well, you still have time to get your items in the mail for Christmas delivery. The deadline for letters, cards, and packages is December 20th, 5 days away. The deadline for Priority Express is December 23rd. Okay, moving right along here. Will there be funding cuts in the Prince George's County School District? You may recall last week the school's chief, Kevin Maxwell, urged districts and departments to limit spending. This as he unveiled a $1.84 billion budget proposal for the next year. It includes 2.5% increase. Today, Maxwell, other education officials were in Annapolis to talk about the challenges to funding education. He said that a number of programs will be put on hold because of the fiscal climate. No additional parent liaisons or mentor teachers will be brought on this year, and no high school academies will be added.
The requirements are going to remain the same. The challenges are going to remain the same. And people are, I think, as always, worried about whether the funding to do what it is we're being asked to do is going to remain the same. There have certainly been some newspaper articles. There were more over the weekend, this past weekend, about cuts coming to the budget, and without definition to that, of course, everyone worries. And so, I think that, what we're hoping is that education funding will remain level.
The reality is, if we don't fund education at the levels that we need to based on student needs, not adult needs, we're not going to get there. We still have a long way to go in the state of Maryland, although we have made a lot of progress. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we maintain funding and not even maintain, but, ramp it up So I'm looking forward to the second iteration, if you will, of the Thornton study. I'm thinking that what will happen with the group is that they're going to, do a real assessment of how education funding has helped in the state, but then where are our deficiencies and how do we fix that?
The Board of Education will hold 3 public hearings to discuss the budget in January and February. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Gina Barty. Up